Well, hi there, my name is Sean Humphreys. Welcome to this presentation on Game Plan. Game Plan is a comprehensive financial planning process that helps individuals get clarity on whether they're on track to achieving the important goals and objectives they have down the road, whether it be financial planning, education funding, retirement income planning, investment portfolio management, estate planning. There's a whole bunch of issues. I'd say probably the main area that we've been seeing clients focused in on around Game Plan the last little while has been retirement income planning. You know, when pollsters ask individuals what their major concerns or anxieties are, certainly near the top of the list, if not at the top of the list, is anxiety around the impact of changing capital markets, the events of 2008, the continued events in Europe. It creates anxiety, and people really wonder whether they're on track. Going through a process like Game Plan confirms a number of issues. First of all, are you doing all you can be doing from a strategy standpoint to be on track to achieving your goals and objectives? It helps to clarify what kind of returns you need to get on your portfolio to achieve your long-term goals. It helps to clarify what kind of capital is required. It deals with that anxiety question about will I have more life than income, and will I have long-term income security? It deals for some clients around legacy issues and how do I maximize the value of my hard-earned assets to be passed on to community activities, events, charities, or my family as an example. So a Game Plan really is a peace of mind exercise, and if you've come to this presentation through our website or you've been referred by a client to learn more about Game Plan, it's my hope that you'll get some value out of this presentation. What I want to do now is walk you through some of the key steps of the Game Plan process. So to experience our process, really the first step number one, is to connect. Now we can connect actually through a Skype video conference, could be a face-to-face meeting. Usually what happens is we have a quick phone call to address any questions you might have on a preliminary basis about Game Plan, and then we get together and connect video conference or face-to-face. In that initial meeting, we really discuss our process. You get to know us a little bit, we get to know you. Through that discussion we get a sense as to whether there's a potential fit for you to walk through our process. And then we walk you through a financial roadmap exercise and identify gaps or opportunities that might be available for you to pursue or take a look at in more detail. If you decide to go through the planning process, then we gather some financial information to help us do the analysis. Now, what I'd like to do is just talk about the Game Plan process and the financial roadmap specifically, just in a little bit more detail. Now, what you see in front of you is a schematic that takes a look at the financial roadmap. And we use this tool to really be a catalyst for discussion around goals and objectives and identifying opportunities or gaps in your current planning. At the top of this schematic, you'll see the staircase. The staircase is basically a way of us getting into a discussion on confirming what's important about money to you. Probably the most important discussion really is, what do you want your financial assets to do? Why are you saving money? Why are you building up pension assets? Why are you working so hard? Ultimately, you have some personal goals and aspirations or things that you want to accomplish. And that's really what this particular staircase is designed to represent and to get into a discussion on. Along the financial roadmap, so we have this road that goes from where you are today, and that's what this box is. We take a look at your current financial assets, any debt, your cash flows. We go through that exercise to begin identifying opportunities or gaps or strategies that might be appropriate for you. And as we move along this financial roadmap, there are financial risks along the way. A good financial plan, that's what Game Plan is designed to do, is to deal with those risks. We can't deal with all risks, but there's certainly strategies, products, programs that are designed to really minimize the risks along the way. We don't want you to be derailed on your journey towards your financial goals and objectives. And so we do a risk analysis and then certainly talk about strategies to reduce risk. What are the risks? It could be market risks, it could be unemployment risks, it could be business downturn or recession, it could be catastrophic health issues that come up as well. And then, of course, we talk about milestones, specific goals and objectives that might have a dollar attached to it, a time horizon, and so we get very concrete about those goals and objectives. This is a great exercise because through this discussion, we really get clarity on what you want to achieve, what your current goals are, your future aspirations, gaps there might be, confirm where you stand financially, and we can get a clear sense as to whether you could get value by going through the Game Plan process. Okay, so we've gone through step one. Let's talk about step two. In step two, what we're trying to do in this step is we gather all your financial information and we prepare financial statements. Those financial statements are intended to give us an idea of exactly where you stand, so between the first and second meetings we can begin formulating some preliminary strategies and ideas for you. We treat your situation much like a business would treat their situation. We create financial statements like a net worth, tax performance and projections, and retirement analysis forecasts as well. So we really get a good sense as to where you stand. In each of the functional areas of your financial plan, we identify those opportunities. Step 3 is a third or a second meeting. In step 3, we're reviewing the financial statements with you, we're outlining potential strategies, and we're having magic moment discussions. So what do I mean by that? You know, I could provide you with recommendations from a portfolio management standpoint that I think could fairly elegantly get you to your goals and objectives. But as we go through that discussion, we may confirm together that you don't have the appetite from a risk standpoint to pursue that strategy, which is perfectly acceptable. By having that discussion, we talk about the pros and cons, and if you go with a more conservative strategy, all we do is we remodel the scenario to reflect that strategy so that you clearly understand the trade-offs. There's no right or wrong in that. It's just for you to understand the ripple effect of the various decisions that you make. It's a great opportunity to understand that as we go through this second meeting and review the financial statements together. Once we have our magic moment discussions, we do what-if scenarioing together in each of the areas of your planning. The next step is to prepare the recommendations. That's step number 4. What we do is we prepare a financial plan and an implementation proposal. The financial plan is forwarded to you in advance of that third meeting. It gives you a chance to read through the report, to come up with questions, to highlight things that need to be reviewed or questions you might have for clarification. And then in that meeting, I review the financial planning process or information with you in detail and address any questions that you have. So you're very clear on what the action steps are. Now that financial planning report is generic in nature, in the sense that you could take that information to your existing advisors, financial institutions. You could even do it on your own. You can begin the implementation process. Now what we've found is for a lot of folks going through game plan, they may not have the time, the expertise, or the inclination to implement. And they're going to ultimately delegate it to someone. That's what the implementation proposal deals with. In that proposal, we talk about how we can assist you with the implementation of the recommendations, and that would involve a whole host of strategies, ideas. We also talk about our service commitments to our clients once we begin working with them, how we're compensated for our time, and so all the information that a prospective client would need to make a decision on becoming a client is included in that implementation proposal. Now what I want to do is just talk a little more detail on what happens through game plan in each of the functional areas. So obviously through game plan we're talking about goals and objectives, assessing your current position, we're doing a gap analysis to explore opportunities, and we're really trying to put the laws of probability firmly in your favor. We talk about retirement income planning, tax planning, investment planning, estate planning, and of course risk management in the game plan process. Under retirement income planning, we help to confirm your required capital, the return that you need to achieve your financial goals and objectives, how to coordinate your basket of assets most efficiently to produce income, and to help you with how to administer that income. Under tax planning, we're looking for deferral opportunities, income splitting opportunities, tax reduction overall, and to try to maximize your after-tax income through retirement planning. In the investment planning area, you're trying to really correctly assess your risk profile, how much risk you're comfortable taking on. Portfolio efficiency really is the idea of don't take more risk on than is necessary to achieve your goals. And sometimes clients are running, or prospective clients are running, portfolios that are too risky. They're taking more risk than is necessary to achieve that objective. We're developing some draft investment policy statements, a very powerful document that confirms return, risk profile, what you need to be doing on the portfolio to ensure that you're tracking in the direction of your long-term goals and objectives, what that portfolio is designed to do in terms of income for retirement, education funding. There's various goals and objectives you might have. We talk about the asset mix, the overall mix of investments that are appropriate between fixed income or bonds or real estate or stocks or equities, and the specific securities that fit into the asset mix. Those recommendations are included in the game plan process. Under estate planning, we talk about will planning. We get into a discussion on powers of attorney and living wills, so documents that are in place that if you're incapacitated, as an example, or cannot make decisions because you've lost cognitive function, well, then those documents are critically important to have in place. We get into trust planning, both inter vivos, which are living trusts, and testamentary trust planning. Some very powerful tax planning opportunities for that area. Business succession planning, very key for business owners who are trying to transition out of the business to retirement or pass their business on to the next generations. We talk about tax and income opportunities in that area. And then finally, see legacy planning, which is an important area. Risk management really deals with survivor capital needs for those left behind and need ongoing income. We talk about disability and critical illness. So if you lose your ability to earn an income, what does your situation look like? Are you covered off in that area? Long-term care relates to the longer-term issues, that if you have to go into a long-term care facility, do you have sufficient estate value or investment value to look after those issues? If you don't, outlining strategies for dealing with that potentially costly issue in your long-term retirement and financial planning needs. That basically outlines the main components of game plan. At the end of the presentation, you will find contact information. We'd love to have a preliminary opportunity to connect with you on game plan if you'd like to talk about it further. And then if you decide that you want to go through the process, we can obviously either make arrangements through a video conferencing or a face-to-face discussion. Thanks so much for taking the time to take in this presentation.